All right, so hi everybody. Here is another story that I found. So, police shoot a man in downtown San Diego, and let me just start, and then after that, I'll just kind of give my thoughts on it. So, San Diego police officers on Saturday evening shot and wounded a man who they said was a robbery suspect who pointed a gun at them. The shooting occurred around 5:45 p.m. on 6th Avenue near B Street in downtown San Diego. Police said on Twitter that the 25-year-old Latino man was a suspect in a robbery that occurred on Sunday. Two officers driving downtown recognized the man from a flyer depicting the suspect and approached him, said San Diego Police Captain Rich Friedman. As he saw the officers, he turned around and started walking southbound on 6th, Friedman said. When the officers got out of their vehicle and told him to stop, he dropped items he'd been carrying, reached into his waistband, and pulled a handgun that he pointed at the officers, Friedman said. Fearing they were going to be shot, the officers returned fire, Friedman said. He was struck by gunfire from both officers, police said. He was taken to a hospital where he was undergoing surgery. His prognosis was unknown, Friedman said. Friedman did not release the man's name nor details of the robbery police were investigating, except to say that it involved someone who struck somebody and stole some property from the person, Friedman said. The shooting was captured on a business surveillance camera, police said. Authorities posted an image from the footage on social media that showed two officers with guns drawn on a man dressed in red appearing to point an item at one of the officers. The image is not clear enough to make out what the item is. Police posted a second photo of a gun they said was recovered at the scene. The photo shows a bundle of camouflage print cloth with what happens to be a wooden handle of a handgun sticking out of the bottom. So that's the picture there. Homicide detectives arrived to the scene to investigate as they do at all officer-involved shootings. The U.S. Attorney's Office and FBI would also be monitoring the investigation. The officers involved will be placed on administrative leave per standard protocol, Freeman said. A video posted on Twitter showed police flooding the area and officers appearing to try to resuscitate a person on the sidewalk in front of Path San Diego's Connections housing. 6th Avenue has been blocked off as police investigate. About 100 onlookers gathered around the police tape, many of them yelling at officers and demanding answers. They chanted, "Hands up, don't shoot." The shooting comes amid fury over the death of George Floyd, a black man who died while in Minneapolis's police custody. The death sparked massive nationwide protests over the past several weeks and renewed calls for racial justice and policing reform. Community activist Tasha Williamson, who recently ran for mayor, said the man's name was Leo. He had a lot of life, she told reporters at the scene. "If that was not a gun, we want the police charged," she said. The decision by San Diego police to release images of the incident so quickly into the investigation is rare and an apparent attempt to temper early outrage building within the community Saturday evening. Calls intensified for video footage of the incident, including that from officer body-worn cameras, to be released immediately. Police promised they would as soon as we can. "I'm calling for the at San Diego PD body-worn camera footage of the 6th Avenue and B Street officer-involved shooting tonight," the Reverend Shane Harris, president and CEO of the People's Alliance for Justice, said on Twitter. "I also expect the Citizens Review Board to review this incident. I'm not jumping to conclusions on what happened or who is at fault. I'm asking for transparency." So basically, it's what the people want is right. They want to know exactly what happened. They want to know a clear story of what happened. So, and then there's this part here where it says about 100 onlookers gathered around the police tape, many of them yelling at officers and demanding answers. So it's like, you got a bunch of, onlookers that are demanding answers for what happened, but it's basically like the cops' word over anything else right now. They're trying to say that the guy had a gun and due to fear of their own lives, that's why they took this man's life. Look, I don't know the answer. So, that's the picture. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame because with the situation being kind of on the, I guess the murky side, since we don't really have any like clear answers yet. And this is like a picture of the whole incident. But it's strange because if you look at this picture, right? So this is the surveillance camera footage. The cops are making it sound as if this guy was pointing a gun at them, trying to shoot them. But first of all, he's not facing them. As you can see, this clip that they put up, he looks like he's running away and he has his hands up. So that don't look right on them right now. That really doesn't. So if these cops are trying to use the excuse that he had something and that he was trying to shoot them first, that little clip that they got right there, that just takes away, to me, that just really like takes away any validity in their statements. Like, that don't look right now. So unless somebody shows like a clear footage from beginning to end, because this clip right here, and this is the moments leading up to this guy being shot, because that's what this says here. San Diego police released this image from a surveillance camera that shows moments leading up to officers shooting a man on Saturday, whatever. And that's the image. The image is right before he died. That don't look like he was trying to shoot at anybody. See what I mean? Like that don't look right. That don't look right. Because a lot of people go to the argument that these cops and that they're defending themselves and yada yada yada, but come on, that don't look right on the cops right now. That picture don't look right. I know I keep repeating myself over and over again, but I can't help it. I can't help but to repeat it. It really makes me question, these guys are lying, because that footage shows me the exact opposite. Now, if this dude here had a gun, if he was facing one of them or whatever, and he had his body facing theirs with a gun pointing at them, and you could see that he's pointing something at them, trying to do something to them, that would be a different image. But that's not the image that we got. We got an image of a guy that has his hands up and he looks like he's trying to run away. So yeah, that's these stories, man. I know that I said that I want to do, a video that's more on the lighthearted side. I've been saying that I've been wanting to do that, but honestly, I have not had the time. Right now, this video is almost 10 minutes in. My husband has been doing work meetings. He does meetings from like 9 o'clock to sometimes 8 o'clock at night. Okay, so my husband is working all day, and it's really me and my daughter. So by the time, and if even the days that he has meetings from 9 to 5, by the time he's done with his meetings, that's when I gotta get started on dinner and everything, and both of us are just exhausted. It feels like it's so much more tiring with with him. I managed to have less time, and it's so much more tiring with him home. I know that might sound weird to people, but it is such the truth. Oh my goodness. So, it's just a matter of like having time to do videos and having the quiet. Like, even if they are around, like, and let's say my husband is, has time, between meetings, my daughter's here, she's making noise, she's being a 4-year-old like she is. So anyway, he managed to escape and do one of his meetings on the road. So he has his phone with him, and he's actually doing his meeting at the park right now with my daughter, because he's like, I know you've been asking me to do, you've been wanting to do this video, you've been asking me for days already, so I'm making the time for you, so I do appreciate that. Anyway, I know that this is like a little sidetrack ramble, but these stories, the other thing that I'm going to say is like, these stories is like, I feel like I'm finding a lot of them coming from the West Coast. It's coming from that side of the country. Like, I'm not really seeing that these incidents like this happening with Latinos here on the East Coast. Not to say that it doesn't happen, not to say that it hasn't happened, because I know that that's that's not true. I know that it happens over here too. I'm just saying that as of right now, as of recent, I'm just not finding any stories like that. But if any of you guys find other stories, and again, if you want me to talk about them, just leave them in my comment section, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. But yeah, I promise you guys, I know that, you know, for the followers that I do have that maybe miss the videos that I used to do, where the times where I'm more lighthearted and things aren't as serious, I promise I'll get to that as soon as I can. But things are actually way more busy now than yeah, it's been crazy here. That I have family here last week. It's been a madhouse. All right. But anyhow, I'm gonna go for now. I hope that you all are well, and I guess I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.